Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the post-game press conference following the fourth game of the 2024 Memorial Cup presented by Dow between the Moose Jaw Warriors and the London Knights. With me, I have Coach Mark O'Leary from the Moose Jaw Warriors. Coach, I just want to start off by getting your impressions on tonight's game.
I thought there was a lot to like about tonight's game. Certainly we were looking for a better start, and we got that, not just results-wise, but when we talk about a good start, it's getting to our game in a hurry and playing with that energy, the enthusiasm, and structure without the puck. And I thought we did that. Individually, I thought we had some guys that really stepped up tonight, had great games. I just thought that there was some opportunities throughout the game early on where we didn't cash in on opportunities, and I thought overall they did a better job of that. Those big opportunities, they were puck ready and they smashed them in. So hell of a hockey game.
Coach, it's kind of already a quarterfinal tomorrow inside the beginning of this tournament. How do you see tomorrow's game being the do or die kind of situation?
That's great. That's what we just talked about in the dressing room. It's quarterfinals tomorrow, and that's a pretty good spot to be in. I mean, 0-2 is no fun. Winning is way more fun. Everybody knows that. But the way this tournament works, you're in a situation where, like you said, you win one game, you're in the semifinals. And in any tournament that you go into, whether it's the Memorial Cup or the World Juniors, you tell me you had a chance to win a quarterfinal game, I'll take that.
Mark, were you pleased with the looks you got on the power play here tonight?
Pleased is a tough word. I think we did generate some looks, but there's got to be more there. I think that with the players that we have there and the success that they've had all season long, I know there's more there. They know there's more there. I just thought that it was a couple times, we were slow to lose pucks. And again, like we talked about last game, one and done in the offensive zone. We just had one guy all by himself. So when we're at our best in the power play, we're surrounding pucks and we're able to make those skill plays. But I just thought we got away from that a little bit tonight.
Yeah, and then the response after their power play goal to kind of get it back 6 seconds later, how important was that for your guys to be able to kind of slow down the momentum and kind of maybe take it right back? Yeah,
you talk about punching back. That's the way to do it. Call it a good bounce or whatever you want to call it. But it's still a great answer. And Ethan had a great game. He was one of the guys that I thought was exceptional tonight. Not just his goals, but just thought he checked hard. He skated, and it was great for the the mood on the bench. Obviously, when you get down there and to be able to get right back in the game, I just think that stuff matters, and those moments in the game matter.
Matt Savoy made a few key defensive plays in the third period to create scoring chances. Is that what role has his play without the puck been in your team's success since he's joined you guys this season?
Yeah, I think that was one of the biggest things that, people that ask about Matthew Savoy, it's easy for me to say that, if Jason asked me for the start of the season, if there's one player that we can go out and get, who would it be? I would say Matthew Savoy. 11 times out of 10, and that's what it is. It's the work that he does to get the opportunities that he does, and we saw it firsthand when he played for Winnipeg. He hunts pucks, whether it's on a forecheck or tracking, and he plays that fearless style, and it's infectious. When he comes back to the bench after a shift, there's nothing left, and I love that about him. He's competitive, and if you're going into a quarterfinal game tomorrow, you want guys like Matthew Savoy.
Coach, a 3-goal deficit is obviously difficult to climb back from, but at one point you were tied 2-2 after that big goal. What sort of went? What didn't go your way and allowed the 3 goals to happen for London?
Well, I think it was just individual moments. We talk as a group that, to being ready, being engaged in the moment, because you never know, it could be the biggest moment of the night, biggest moment of the game. And I think we saw that tonight, whether it was a rush where they make a play and they capitalize, or two on one, them cashing in on an opportunity there. But the things that lead up to those opportunities, whether it's losing your depth in the offensive zone, not climbing above right away, these moments, these decisions in the game can come back and haunt you. So again, it's just a lesson to the group that And on a stage like this, those kind of things don't change. You have to be ready for that moment with or without the puck. It could be the biggest moment of the game.
Mark, with all the offensive power on your top line tonight and with Matejchuk on the ice a lot with them, looked like Braden Yeager took on a lot of the defensive responsibility. How do you think he did, and was that the plan tonight?
Well, I think with all of our lines, we expect them to, play well defensively. We talked about that in between the first and the second, that, sometimes within a game, a lot of these guys, they get, 20 plus shifts every game. So there's going to be shifts where your job is just to check, it's not going so well offensively. You're not playing down there in the fun zone. It's work, it's defense. And I think Braden doesn't shy away from that. I think that's a big part of his game, and he likes those challenges against good players. So him, like anybody else, we expect them to, when their job is to check and to play well defensively, they need to be ready for that. So I certainly trust Braden in those situations.
Mark, 20 years after you played against Dale Hunter's team, do they still play the same way?
Yeah, they're the exact same, and it's not easy to play against, for sure. I was proud of our group, the way that we did play. They muddy the waters through the neutral zone. They make it hard to get through there, and in and around the net, it's the same thing. That if you're going to the net, it might hurt a little bit, but again, I thought they played a good game, but I thought we did too. Again, I thought it came down to them capitalizing on those opportunities, and they certainly had the skill to do that. I just thought we left some opportunities on the board.
You guys had about a similar situation in the conference final. You had a bunch of 1-goal games. You were down 3-2 in that series, and it's kind of as close as it could be right now. You go into tomorrow, you've had those 1-goal games. You guys take me back to when your team dug out of that and dug back in that conference final, and what are some of the things you learned from your team then that maybe give you confidence coming into go tomorrow? You mentioned it's quarterfinal. You got to kind of do what you did then.
Yeah, I just think that it comes down to we play our best when our backs are up against the wall. Those kind of experiences are important. Experience is good if you have it. If you don't worry too much about it. But I think that that's something that we can draw on. I think, the past leaves clues, and sometimes when you can look back and know that you found a way to do it, it just gives you a little bit of confidence. Tomorrow, when you wake up playing in a quarterfinal game, your back's up against the wall and you have to win to move on. I think when you've already done it before in those situations, you can walk a little taller and be a little bit more confident that you can do it again.
From a coaching perspective, it's something where you kind of talk to the guys about that. You let them kind of how do you kind of manage this as they kind of know what to do versus you kind of coming in and bringing things to them?
Well, I think as a group, we know how we want to play, and that's the thing. You're doing video meetings. You're talking 5-on-5. You're talking special teams. All these things are just reminders at this point. I think it's as a coach, for myself, I just need to, I need to have belief, passionate belief, and I certainly do. It starts there. These guys know that they're a good team. They're capable of winning a game tomorrow. I just need to make sure that I reassure that. And, there's nothing that I can tell them tomorrow that they don't already know in terms of X's and O's. It's just about making sure that we show up together and we all do our job.
With the 6-on-5 situation, you've been able to score a goal in each game, but then also kind of needed one more. What is it about that situation that has worked well, and what else would you like maybe further in those moments?
Well, I think Scott King does a great job with our power play. He handles all of that, and it's preparing for moments like that. Obviously, with the opponent that you're playing, London's very good on the penalty kill, so it's not an easy task. But I think Scott puts them in good spots, and again, having the players that we do, their instincts, their skill, to make those plays in big moments, those things all go hand in hand, and you're able to capitalize. So, 2 straight games there where you needed another one, but you go back to the Saginaw game, we, Sav in the slot, Furcus in the slot. Those are 2 guys that you want with the puck in those areas. So we're generating the looks, and then again tonight we had some looks late with those guys. We just weren't able to capitalize. So your job in those situations is to get those looks, and then to get it over the top, you just need to be ready to capitalize.
Mark, can you tell me what did you take out of your scouting report for Drummondville?
Well, another team that I think does a very good job through the neutral zone. If you watch their games, even with watching them back in their own playoffs, I just think they do a very good job of again clogging things up, making you make smart puck decisions. If you don't manage the puck, another team that can transition fast and make you pay the other way. On entry, they're very dangerous. They go to the net hard. And, you're going to see 4 guys in the rush quite often. So, it's important for us, the things that we talk about with all good teams, making sure that we have depth in the offensive zone. We have numbers coming back, and making sure that we, if we are giving things up off the rush, it's kept to the outside. And, it's hard to do against good teams, but it's a privilege to have the opportunity to play against teams like this. So we expect no different against Drummondville.